We have 420 rooms currently controlled by Prefect Irus, and we have about another 1,000 that are not controlled. We're looking to do the other 1,000 within about an 18-month period. Initially, we were looking at student comfort and energy reduction. Student comfort is very important to us. We had a lot of rooms that were non-controlled hot, non-controlled cold. We want our students in Bristol to have the best possible experience, so that was very important to us. And of course, as an energy manager, I would like to see a reduction in energy and in carbon usage, and obviously costs as well. We looked at a lot of systems. We were going to look at a traditional BMS. One of the barriers to BMS is we had to run cabling throughout the buildings. Some of the buildings had asbestos deep inside the walls. Some of them were heritage type buildings that we didn't want to disturb, and we didn't want to pay for the cabling. Prefect Irus works over mains-borne signalling, so it allowed us to put the controls in the rooms without actually adding to any of the infrastructure. We also looked at standalone controls, but we were really keen to network our systems so we could see what was going on and respond to changes in things like tariff. We looked at other systems and couldn't see anything that was really comparable to Prefect Irus. We decided to trial Prefect Irus on one block of about 40 rooms in Christmas 2013, and the installation went so well and went so easy. It was then decided we would do the entire site while the students were in accommodation, and we were quite worried about this, but the installation is so quick and easy. They think they can do them in 45 minutes a room. I don't disbelieve that. We were well under an hour per room, and it surprised me every time I went there how many rooms they'd actually done in the time. That quite often the students only notice that that anybody had been in by the addition of the control on the wall, and we put new heaters in as well. The accommodation manager was very pleased with the install and allowed us to install while students were in accommodation. They got the benefit of better comfort earlier, and we got the energy saving as soon as we possibly could. They're a very nice company to work with, to be quite honest, and the install people are great, and it was really a worry-free installation for us. When we purchased Prefect Irus, we were offered a training day, which we accepted, and they came down on site and showed us how to use it. They also showed the staff on site how to use it. It was very, very simple to use. Nobody seemed to have any difficulty with it. It's very intuitive as a system. The actual screenshot shows a picture of the controller. You press up for up and down for down. It's as simple as that, really. It's visibility. We can see all the rooms individually, wherever we are, anywhere in the country or abroad even. It's simplicity. It's not a hugely complex system. It's simple enough for people that aren't technically biased to actually control it. Each of the rooms are controlled by the accommodation manager and by their own admission. They're not technical people at all. Controllability is another benefit for Prefect Irus. Everything we want to do on a control system, it can do. And also, we've enhanced the control scenarios on the system to meet our specifications here in Bristol. When students are in occupation, then it allows them to control the system as they want to. Using the Prefect Irus remotely is a big benefit for us. We had about 40-50 rooms controlled by Prefect Irus, and when the students went home, I was able to turn the system off on a Sunday evening, just before Christmas, when I was on holiday. That saved huge amounts of money. We shut down 2-3 weeks over Christmas. 5% of our energy used to be used in the Christmas period. We avoid using that now, and that controllability has been a great help to us. We've made a number of changes to the system to deal with our specific tariffs here in Bristol. So our electricity tariffs include timed elements. GWOS and CHUOS, distribution use of service and transmission use of service. Here in the southwest, these are particularly expensive. Between 5 and 7, we want to avoid using as much electricity as possible, and we can do that with the Prefect Irus system. We try to avoid heating water, and whenever a student's not in occupation of their room, we turn the heating off. At our first installation, 22% of our costs were incurred at 6% of our time. We managed to avoid those charges as best we can, and we're looking to modify the system to avoid them even further. That is a big benefit of Prefect Irus for us here in Bristol. We allow our facility managers and our accommodation managers access to the Prefect Irus system. They're able to answer questions from students and other occupants, and they're able to turn heating up and down depending on the students' requirements. This first year we've had the system in, we had a couple of people have the flu. We give them a couple of degrees extra for the few days that they were ill. They were very grateful for that. And we're more confident now with our Legionella policy because we have a system now that records all the temperatures, it's auditable, it's able to be downloaded and presented, and it's given us greater comfort with our Legionella issues. It's a function that we've never had before. So Prefect Irus has the ability to be used from all sorts of devices, smartphones, iPads, tablets, laptops, etc. The sustainability team in Bristol are very impressed with Prefect Irus. My colleagues use it. They alert me to issues like did I know there's a room that's three degrees higher, or somebody keeps their window open, because you're able to see that. And we're looking at things like do we know that some rooms are only occupied 5 or 6% of the time? Some students spend a lot of time in their rooms. Some students have a lot of contact time in labs, for instance. So we can't really put a control system timer on that every student would benefit from. The benefit of Prefect Irus is we don't have to do that. We know when students are in their room because we have a presence detection, and they have control whenever they're in their room. When they're not in their room, we then revert down to a lower temperature. That's been a massive benefit for us. They're like pushing an open door. We come up with things that we want to do, and they always say yes and then try to design it for us. So we like to think we're an informed client. We want to do things like maximum demand and capacity reduction, and those are the sorts of things that they get very excited about, we get very excited about. We're looking at writing bits of software to allow us to do that. In the future, that will save costs and will allow us to react perhaps to changes in the grid network that are invariably going to happen. We're looking at brownouts and grid outages in a few years' time, maybe. We don't know. But it allows us to perhaps turn a third of our heaters off in perhaps 30-second chunks. It reduces our capacity. That might help us. It might help the grid. These are the sorts of things we're investigating with Prefect Irus, and we're very excited about our relationship with them in the technological field. We've currently completed about a third of our electrically heated rooms of residence, and we're expecting to do the additional 2/3 in about the next 18 months. We're sufficiently excited about Prefect Irus to go for this and complete our entire estate. We're very keen to get all our rooms under control, both for student comfort and for energy management. We're looking at 7 to 8% in carbon, 20% in costs. We reckon we're going to save 25% in energy saving and probably 40% in costs in the fullness of time. For the cost, I think Prefect Irus is pretty unique. The controllability and the visibility we get remotely, I think is difficult to replicate. You'd have to kind of pay a lot of money with BMS to actually get what we get with Prefect Irus. We're currently exploring with Prefect Irus using their system in laboratories where quite often the radiators are hidden behind benching, which is built in. We're having a lot of problems with heat control in these rooms, these labs. So that's our next project. Once we've done the halls of residence, we're looking at remotely monitoring temperatures in labs and using their radiator system to control wet heating systems.